I haven't gotten yelled at yet, though.
Get this put on the bench.
Hey everyone, welcome to part 5 of building a dirt late model. This is our Warrior dirt late model build. Starting off with a little bit of a recap. So this is a brand new car. We picked this car up from Warrior as a bare frame, and then it had the decking on it and bodywork assembled, although most of the bodywork is off, with the exception of the nose, which is just hung in there to make sure that our radiator placement works and things like that. This is our first time building a dirt late model from a bare frame that was brand new. We framed our last car up a few times, but it's a lot easier once you've got a car built, take it apart, clean it up, put it back together, than it is being like a brand new car that you've never built. And so there's things you have to place, there's wiring that is different, you know, as far as lengths and placement and all that kind of stuff. So that's that detail work that takes a long time. Had this car been something that we had already done, we could have probably done this in about a week. We also had some things that slowed us down in the real world, some medical stuff, you know, life type stuff. Dad got hurt and he's kind of the boss, and so he's been slowly getting better. He can walk now, so that's good. You'll also notice there's a different car behind me. This is a pavement late model that belongs to our friend Jacob. We just did a side-by-side compare on these two cars, and so if you're interested in that, definitely check that out. Also check out Jacob's channel here on YouTube. He just posted his first vlog. All right, back to the Warrior.
Thank you very much for clicking on today's video. We are moving into the final stages of this Warrior dirt late model build. If you like our videos and you want to see more of our videos, or if you just want to support the team, be sure to go to patreon.com/FletcherWolf Racing. I'll put a link in the description for that. That's where people can sign up to be a member of the team, basically, and there's more content, free t-shirts, and a bunch of other cool stuff, so be sure to check that out as well. And without further ado, let's get into the video.
So right now we've got the fuel cell in. This is a Superior 26-gallon cell. The rear end is installed in the race car. And if we scan forward, I've got a deck brace that we just put in it, and then the motor is in right now. The motor has been in for a couple weeks now. It has to come out one more time to finish setup on the flywheel and stuff. And then we've been kind of organizing our cooling system and then all the plumbing behind there. This is a dry sump motor, so there's a fair amount of plumbing that goes along with that. Steering rack is in the car. The tie rods are in, spindles are in. The front suspension is all in. It just needs to be nut and bolted. Here's the car from the other side. You can see the right front suspension is put together, and there is a little bit better look at the plumbing that goes on behind the motor. And then if we look down, you'll see that the lift bar is installed. So the lift bar controls the rear end wrap up. Because our bird cages have bearings, the rear end can actually rotate like this, and we control that rotation with this bar right here, called the lift bar, sometimes a torque arm. You could also call it the headache bar. That's kind of my joke. There's the battery box, and then here's the rear end from kind of the other side, looking kind of back towards the cockpit tub. And then here is our bird cages. So our bird cages are installed on the axle. I've just got our 4 bars kind of mocked in. These are the 4 bar lengths right here. So Dad's working on the dashboard. There's kind of a look at the dashboard outside the race car. And then Dad's working on the wiring on the back of it. Let's take a quick look at that. So there's a fair amount going on back there.
Okay, so we're checking continuity and making sure that each switch that we've installed is passing juice like we expect.
Okay.
Okay, so that way when we hook it up, we know the switches are active. Okay, turn the switch. Okay, which way was that? Up?
Up.
Okay. Okay, so the switch works, right? One's up, one's
So
down.
down is to turn on the ignition.
Yeah, we're gonna flip the switch over. That's part of why we're doing this. Up will be on.
Okay.
Have continuity, so switch is on, turn the
Yep.
switch off. Bingo, okay?
Okay.
And we have that. So this is our brake shutoff valve over here, right?
Okay.
So we have power to the brake shutoff valve. Turn the brake shutoff valve switch, and we lose the power. So we know we have ignition, we know we have power to the start button, right? Now, you're gonna push the start button, which should be a lift.
Yep.
Go ahead. Okay. That's a momentary switch. If you
Right.
let go,
If you let go, it goes away.
it shuts off. That's your starter button, okay?
Right.
So that'll make it crank. We know that one works.
Just on the creakiest chair of all time. Just to explain what we're doing here, we're getting ready to pull the engine, the bell housing, and the transmission all out for the final time. So Dad needs to do some work on pretty much everything just to get it all final ready. And in order to do that, the bell housing and the oil pump are bolted together, and we want to just get all these lines undone from the bell housing, so when we go pull everything out, we don't tear a bunch of crap out, like the oil cooler and all that stuff that it's hooked to. So
You had a new nut on the.
oh, there we go. Sort of. Yeah, but it was his face. It was giant too. Oh yeah, he did try to sell us, he's like, I had these made.
It's like, I can get you a great deal on them.
See that everything now has a cap and a plug, so the pump is completely disconnected, and now we'll be able to go ahead and start removing the engine, bell housing, and transmission. What are you doing, Fletch?
Making a tool.
Making a tool.
Making a tool.
Jacob and Dad over here working on his late model. Some brake system stuff going down.
I'm just holding the light.
He's just holding the light. The classic helping the dad work on the car job.
I haven't gotten yelled at yet though. Hang on, kid.
Yeah, I got it.
I got a hold of the pump.
I have the pump. Okay. I have it.
Okay, don't hit the nose of the gearbox.
Yep. Okay.
All right, so can you get it down off your chest?
I'm gonna try.
Straight down. All right. Good job. Don't get in a hurry and drag it into a frame rail on the way out. Good.
So like I was saying, the oil pump and the bell housing are bolted together. You can see right there. And so that's why we had to get all those lines undone so that we don't drag anything else out with it. But this is the full assembly here, minus the transmission. Now, in the car, all we have left is the transmission just hung on top of the X-frame. So we can get that out either right now, or we can wait and get the shear plate and the engine off, and then drag the transmission through the front. So that's probably what we'll end up doing. But first, we're gonna eat some lunch, and yeah, get this put on the bench. Taking our brake fluid reservoir, and we're making our lines that connect to our master cylinders down in the pedal box. Of course, drop the part of the hose that I need. I'm gonna throw the fitting on here real quick so I can get a good measurement on how long I want my hose to be. Black Sharpie on a black hose, that always works really good. Get some brake fluid on that for some lubrication. Now, if we hold our mouth right, this should go on very easily, just like that. Pretty good. And just like that, the engine is out of the car, the shear plate's out of the car, the bell housing and transmission are out of the car, the oil tank is out of the car. Pretty much this whole tunnel area is clear. A lot of the hosing and the lines, I took those out as well. So yeah, a lot of this has been emptied out. We've got our primer pump and oil filter still hung here, but that's already been finaled in, so that won't come out again. And we went ahead and mounted our reservoir as well. That came out nice and sturdy. And then down in here we've got our reservoir for the master cylinders inside. These pedals have been hung in final. The throttle pedal has not been done yet, so we got to do that as well. But you can see that I've drawn a bunch of lines on the deck here, and I've got a little template guy here. I'm going to cut these holes out of the deck. This is going to be our oil cooler, so that air can actually get to the cooler. So that'll go there. This is going to be kind of like a lid situation. This is so that we can get to the top of the oil tank easier. We don't have another door panel, and a door wouldn't be able to open here anyway because it would be it would interfere with the chassis tubes, or rather the chassis tubes would interfere with it. So it's going to be more of just a lid that pops straight off, and then we can get to the oil tank. And then this door, whoa. This door is going to be our 5th and 6th coil upper mount adjustment. So anything that we need to do up here, we can get to, and I've actually got the door laying right here. So I'm going to cut all this out tomorrow morning and hopefully all 3 of those done tomorrow. That was lots of fun. So yeah, we're going to keep going tomorrow morning. Dad's working on the engine, getting ready to take the oil pan off and final everything to do with that. Got the 500 on. Got chicken fingers. Not a bad day in the 95 shop. Fun fact, Mom and Dad, Fletcher and I's mom and dad, have both competed at the Indianapolis 500. Dad has been a crew chief and a spotter at the 500, and Mom ran timing and scoring when Sneva won. Pretty cool. Also, our Uncle Bob was a fueler for the 500, as well as like just a lot of other IndyCar races.
500.
Uncle Bob, yeah.
Grandpa.
He did. Did Bob do 6 500s? 6-ish. And then yeah, Grandpa.
He tried to qualify.
Our grandfather, Bill Tempero, infamous Bill Tempero. He tried to qualify. How many times? 3. He never made the show, but he always brought his own car. He worked on his own car, and he got there. So you got to give him that. Built his own engines. That's right. You got to give him credit for that. What he was fast enough to qualify? Anyway, that's a little bit of our Wolf Tempero family 500 connection. So
You're doing the little 500
we're gonna do the little 500
next year.
You can count on it. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching today's video. If you liked it, make sure to leave a like. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Check out our Patreon page for more content, or if you just want to support the team a little bit and help us get up and down the road. This car is going to be running very, very soon. We're extremely excited to share that with everybody, and we're extremely excited to get to the racetrack as well. So everybody's super eager. Thank you again for watching. Make sure to hit the like button, and we will see you on the next one.